How's it going, YouTube? It's FuzzyXYZ here. Now, today's video is going to be about the new ban list. Yes, earlier this morning over here in the UK, the new ban list got announced, and to be honest, everybody, from what I've seen so far throughout today, has been complaining about it. I think that it is a average list. I think there's some things that could have brought back, there's some things that could have got hit, but overall, I think fair's with this list. Just to go quickly through it, I'm probably guess that most of you guys have watched other previous videos about the ban list, so I'm not going to bore you too much, so just quickly go through it. I have my computer next to me. Banned both the morphing jars, both morphing jar and number 2. From what I've heard throughout watching other videos and on Facebook and Twitter and everything like this, essentially there is a FTK type thing with the new 7 card that's coming out in Primal Origins, I believe it is. I've not looked fully into it, but you've probably heard this from other YouTubers as well, that apparently it's just basically another generic way to win, and they just want to hit it, which is kind of pointless, to be honest, because why would they bring the card out in the first place if they're just going to hit it before it's come out? I don't know, Konami logic, we know what it's like. That's it for the band. In my opinion, I'd have liked to see a couple of cards come off, such as Zenmaity, D-Mock, stuff like that, but it's all false hopes, it's all wishes, it's all predictions, etc., so I'm not going to bore you with that either. Newly limited, Wolfbark. I think this is an okay hit, to be honest. A lot of people said they saw it coming and everything like this. It was on that fake ban list which was released last week. I think that that's okay. Fire Fist is still a playable deck, don't get me wrong. From what I've heard, apparently Fire Fist are now thinking about playing Call of the Haunted. I think the main problem in that deck, which I actually talked about last format, was the fact that Tenki went to 3. So they've essentially hit a card to 1 on this ban list, which is searchable by 3 cards. They can obviously completely reuse it if they've got Call of the Haunted, but I think Tenki's the main problem in that deck. I didn't like it when it went back to 3. I preferred it at 2. In my honest opinion, I would have liked it more if Tenki went to 2 and Wolfbark went to 2. I think that would have been a lot more fairer, but the deck is completely still playable, don't get me wrong, it's still a strong deck. The deck was strong before Wolfbark was even released. Wolfbark just gave it that extra push to make easy exceeds. But I think the deck will focus a bit more around Dragon, and like I said, Call of the Haunted. I've been seeing a lot of people on the trade groups trying to pick up Magic Planters. Obviously Call of the Haunted is back, use its effect to bring back something, overlay, Magic Planter it away, and basically you've gone like +3, +4 off 2 cards, so that's a pretty good idea. Abyss Gund is what's been hit in Mermail, obviously to 1. I'm a bit 50-50 on it. I think there's some other things that could have been hit. Lin could have been hit, Sphere could have been hit, Teus maybe. But at the minute there's the whole Patrick Hoban rank 4 spam, Pike, Turge, Gund combos going off at the minute. I think that now Mermails will result back into playing at least 2 or 3 heavy infantry, maybe bump up Megalo back up to 2 or 3, maybe Lead will come back. Tidal is still obviously a card, they have Undyne, and they can obviously do all the generic plays. I also think that Salvage could potentially see being played at 1 or 2. Again, this is the exact same as Wolfbark. Gund is a card that is searchable, so even though it's a 1, you're not obviously going to top deck it or something like that, like a Dragoons. It's searchable, and it's reusable with Turge. Turge might be seen at 2 or 3, etc, etc. Also new is Rekindling. To be honest, I absolutely hate that card. It just reminds me of a Hysteric Party, a Return from the Different Dimension, something like that. It can obviously bring back all the Larvals. I think Olympio hit it on the head perfectly when I watched his video. The fact that if they are limiting that card, then Quasar might be seen being reprinted for us Europeans. Which is actually good, because I like Quasar as a card. It's just been the whole Lavarval deck has just been nerfed, and it was Rekindling that made that deck absolutely busted. Rekindling is also seen in the 3.5 axis and the 3 axis. In the 3.5, I think it was played at either 0 or 1, so obviously that deck is still viable. The 3-axis, I'm completely unsure about that. I didn't like that deck in the first place. And apparently with Rekindling it had like a substantial amount of pressure to actually OTK and stuff like that. So I'm glad that Rekindling's gone. I do not like that card at all. The next card is Infinity Barrier to 1. I personally hate Infinities. A lot of people like them. Again, it is a card which has been hit to 1 but is searchable. It's probably going to be the first card that you obviously search off Archfiend. They can still do all their herp dirt plays. I think Barrier will be played at either 2 or 3 now, but there is still a lot of negation. There's 7 tools, there's Dark Bribe, Trapstone, everything like that, and that new stupid level 8 synchro, the Beheasel King Darkness, whatever you want to call it, is being released in the Gold Series premium type thing that we are getting at the end of March. I do actually think that Infinities might refer back to the synchro build now. That is a possibility, so do look forward or look out for that in the upcoming future. That's it for limited. Semi-limited Necroface. Why was that 1 in the first place? Was I not around then or something? But that's obviously been brought back to 2. No comment on that, to be honest. Heraxilla Convocation to 2. Again, what is Konami doing with that card? They should just keep it at 1 or another, to be honest, and then hit something else. But Hieratics are a very powerful deck. They'll probably see a lot more play over in America, and then they'll gradually increase over here in the UK. To 3, Magical Stone Excavation and Primal Seed. Pointless cards, to be honest. No comment. Just cards that obviously shouldn't be semi-limited and obviously unlimited. And I'd like to see Tengu to 3. I think a lot of people did that as well. I'd prefer to see that to come back to 3, in my personal opinion. Now predictions for the upcoming future. I think, like what I've said, Mermails, Infinities, Fire Fist, and Hieratics are going to be 4 popular ones. They've had the slight nerfs. Other than that, they are basically very, very powerful decks. 2 decks which have not been talked about at all in people's videos and what I've seen and everything like that, and to be honest, if you guys have not thought of this, then you are completely ridiculous and stupid. Gear Gaia is still a deck. It gets the new support coming up, I believe, in Primal Origins. I think that's the reason why they didn't hit it, but Gear Gaia, Gear, Trapstone, OTK, blah blah blah, herp derp, is still on the table. And there's not many things that can actually stop that. Maxi's a card, yes, and I think Maxi might go back into the main deck and is definitely a staple in the side deck, due to the fact that Hieratics and Mermail still see play, and Infinities, to be honest. Yeah, Gear Gaia is still a deck, and people, I think you should pick that up as a deck now. The only expensive card in that deck is Armour, and they're about 10 each at the minute. I'm talking about UK Great British Pounds now, that which is probably about $14. I have no clue on exchange rates, so don't count me on that. It'd be about $14 to $15, I think. But yeah, they're about 10 each now. Everything else has been reprinted as Supers, Berets, Gigant X, everything like that. It's all low rarity. Gear Gaia gears, I think, are about £3 each. You get a playset for a tenner on eBay. So the deck is very, very cheap. I think people should start picking that up now. The second deck, and I am so happy about this, Prophecy has not been touched whatsoever. Every deck that probably affected it or slowed it down or had problems against, generically and in my personal opinion, like Infinities and stuff like that, have been slowed down a little bit, which basically increases the speed of Prophecy. And I cannot wait to play Prophecy for another format. Basically, this ban list at the minute before Primal Origins leads all up until our UK Nationals. So Primal Origins is released after Nationals, so whatever deck is at the minute, which is the best deck, will be probably the best deck at Nationals. Primal Origins is after that, like it was with Tachyon last year, which I personally approve of. It gives you time to test, gives you time to practice, and you can basically side correctly and everything like that, and you have tons of preparation. So in my opinion, I think this ban list is okay. I don't know what people are complaining about. Yes, there could have been some new things come off, everything like that, but it's all wishful thinking, everything like that. You kind of have to think realistic with the ban list. You can't be wishing and casting on false hopes and this, that and the other. So that's basically it, guys. I want to know your opinions on this ban list. Your opinions will probably be the same as everybody else's, and you won't like it. I think it's okay. I think there's nothing to complain about. I think that now some of the decks have been slowed down. Some of the other decks like Dolces and Sylvans and everything like this will see more play now, and I like that. I like the fact that everything at the minute, in my opinion, is on a tier 1.5 level. And I think that's pretty cool, with the exception of Prophecy and Gear Guy, because I think that they're probably going to be the best decks of the format. Other than that, guys, be FuzzyXYZ. Like I said, I want to know your comments in the description below. I will leave the link to obviously the ban list on the website there. If you haven't already seen it, you can check it out for yourself. And now, apparently, one last final thing, Wall of Revealing Light is not on the actual official website. That is still at 201, I believe, I can't remember. But it is in the PDF file. People have like been commenting like, oh my god, it's an April Fool's and everything like that because Wall of Revealing Light in there. No, it's just probably an error on Konami's part and they haven't put it on, but it's on the PDF file. Go check it out for yourself if you want to. So Wall of Revealing Light is still whatever is happening with it, so don't get confused on that one. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to go for my tea and I'm going to go and chill out at home. So this has been FuzzyXYZ. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later, YouTube.